I'm going to get on to this one. This is very disturbing, obviously, but it is very important to talk about it. Our Prime Minister, Imran Khan, who is very well traveled, has seen the whole world, and he's confident that women in Pakistan are respected far more than any other Western country. And also, he believes that women who wear short, revealing, immodest clothes, they attract rapists. So that's the kind of narrative he goes by, and obviously it comes directly from the Quran. There is no two ways about it. It's not like, oh, these guys are making it up. Any liberal Muslims who see problem with that, they should see problem with the Quran. This is Surah Azab, chapter 33, verse 59. It says, "O Prophet, enjoin your wives and daughters and the believing women to draw a part of their outer coverings around them. It is likelier that they will be recognized and not molested." So Quran itself says, like you're going to get molested. Like if you go out, you're going to get molested. So how many people are there going to? And any society, you can look at it, how the so-called intellectuals behave. If you want to call these guys intellectuals, they're religious scholars, muftis, clerics. Oh, look at this guy. This guy, his name is. So anyway, so Thana पीर दहाई की हदूद में मदरसा तूबी ज़ियाउल बनात के मौलम मुफ्ती Shah Nawaz Ahmed. So his name is Mufti Shah Nawaz Ahmed. He had been raping a 16-year-old female student in his own madrasa. 16-year-old female student. So she was sent there to him so she could learn the get some religious education, but instead she ended up getting raped by this guy. That's just one mufti, and this is an actual FIR, so it's been reported. Okay, that's not it. These are, I think I should have a separate segment where Islamic scholars behaving badly. Another one. This time, another imam of a mosque, he raped a 13-year-old mentally what's the word? A disabled
mentally
girl.
Challenged.
Yeah, mentally challenged, disabled. Well, yeah, I think disabled is not a right word either now, so I got to be careful. Mentally challenged girl, 13 years old. She was raped by this imam of the mosque inside the mosque. First one, in a madrasa where she went to get some religious education. Second one, disabled girl gets raped by the imam of a mosque inside of a mosque. Okay, what about this one? A tuk-tuk driver, he rapes his passenger and her daughter in broad daylight. This is not shocking. The shocking part is that he was arrested previously, not once, but twice on rape charges, but he was released. So he was, this is the mom and daughter who were just going to get their groceries or something in a tuk-tuk. He just took, he took his tuk-tuk away and he raped both of them. Anyway, have a look at this. Another one. Another Imam mosque. Look at him. He's a Hafiz, so he's memorized the whole Quran. Hafiz Ayub Ansari. He raped a 4-year-old girl, and he'd been raping her daily. And he's been arrested in Thanabad. So this is it. So these are the clerics. It's not over. There's another video. I'm not gonna. It's in Urdu, so I'm not gonna be able to play that. Christian girl. I'll play a little bit for those who can actually understand Urdu. I think it will help them a little bit, but I wouldn't play all of it. Have a listen to this.
ये कारी मोहम्मद सलीम साहब हैं जो कि मदरसे के जो हैं वो वहाँ पे टीचर हैं कारी मोहम्मद सलीम साहब ये बेसिकली यहाँ से बच्चे जिस तरह मदरसे में जाते हैं तो इस बच्ची को भी इसलिए भेज दिया मदरसे में ताकि एक रूटीन बन जाए बच्ची की उम्र तो अभी सिर्फ 3 साल है तो उस रूटीन बनाने के लिए लेकिन कारी साहब ने बच्ची को अपने जो है ना वो हवस का निशाना बना लिया ये कारी साहब पे FIR भी हो गई है और ये मेडिकल रिपोर्ट भी आ गई है इस 3 साल की बच्ची मैं समझता हूँ कि 3 साल की बच्ची को तो उसे अपना नाम नहीं सही तरह पता लेकिन कारी साहब ने ये जो है वो मेडिकल रिपोर्ट भी आ गई है और जिनसी ज्यादती का निशाना बनाया ये कारी साहब है डॉक्टर मोहम्मद सलीम साहब ये हाफिज भी हैं और हाजी भी हैं.
So this Kari as well. So these, which we don't know, we don't work it out. So these parents were Christian, and they sent their 3-year-old daughter to the madrasa. I don't know why. We can't really work it out why was she sent to that. But he thought, well, 3-year-old Christian girl, and he raped her as well. So that's the guy you saw. So all of these guys were just your actual religious scholars, the Maulvis, Imam Muftis, Imam Mosque. But that's not it. That's not where it ends. Have a look at this. You guys have a sports section in your newspaper. You have a business section. You have entertainment section. But only in Pakistan, you have a separate page for rapes. Have a look at this one. Sangla Hill. A mother of 2 kept getting gang raped for 14 days. For 14 days, she kept getting gang raped. Faisalabad, 15-year-old girl, her fiance brought his friends and gang raped a 15-year-old girl. Another one in Rawalpindi, close to Islamabad, the landlord raped a 15-year-old tenant, and he kept doing it over a long period of time. Another woman, she was asked to come for a job interview. When she got there, she ended up getting raped. This one, I think we just spoke about earlier, this Imam Mosque, he raped this girl, a 6-year-old girl who was mentally challenged. He raped her inside of a mosque. Another one, a 13-year-old boy was also raped by some other person. So these are happening on daily basis, and I think something like, I think Sultan Salatin quoted that the number is going up to like 10 rapes a day. But my point is, a lot of these are children. So are these children wearing revealing clothes as well? I mean, Imran Khan says that a lot about revealing clothes. That attracts these kind of rapes. How do you see this? I mean, it's obviously very disturbing. But another point that I think one of our patrons made, she was like, what's going to happen to these kids? I mean, when they grow up, we know how these kind of scars and trauma remains forever. What's going to happen to these kids when they grow up? What kind of a traumatic life are they going to live? Living in a third world country where first, forget about giving therapy, they actually blame the victim. One of our patrons, she told her story on my Urdu stream, I think, and she said how she was gang raped. Her parents tried to get justice for her, but she was put in the same van as the perpetrators. There was no there was no emotion shown. There was no solidarity shown with the victim, and her parents, who were supportive of her, which is, again, in a country like that, it's a big deal. But they gave up, and then they also started turning on her. And she was just an 18-year-old girl at that point. I think she ended up leaving Pakistan. And now maybe she was lucky, but what about these people? What do you have to say on this?
Well, first of all, it's just, honestly, like, I'm kind of speechless. Like, it's just so heartbreaking. Like you said, there's a whole section dedicated to rape, and then the ages that I'm hearing are just, like, I can't even, it's horrible. But like you said, again, just because, like, the number of madrasas, for example, we have in Pakistan, so the amount that these things are going to happen is just way too skewed anyway. So can you imagine, like, if this is happening to 3-year-olds, 6-year-olds, and children, like you said, in a third world country where I doubt they're ever going to get access to therapy or truly be able to understand or make peace with what happened, or ever get justice. In fact, it will be turned on. I don't know how you can turn around and blame a 3-year-old or a 6-year-old or anything, by the way. Like, that's just beyond my capacity. I don't know how. But the fact that they're going to suffer from this, and this whole new wave of kids who have been left traumatized by these Maulvis from madrasas, whether you're Muslim or Christian, or you're going there because your parents think it's a good routine or whatever, whatever happens to you there, you're going to internalize that and carry it on into your adult life, and you're not going to be a mentally healthy, stable individual who's able to go on and then have fulfilling personal relationships of their own. And it's just going to have a knock-on effect to society, where there's a huge percentage of the population who are severely troubled and severely traumatized, and this whole phenomenon is just going to continue like a domino effect until we start uprooting these madrasas and getting these imams out and holding these Maulvis accountable. And also, then you've got to address things like therapy and things like that. But also, parents in Pakistan need to understand now, once you've seen one or two news articles knowing that these are the kind of atrocities that happen in madrasa, as a parent, you should be switched on enough to know there's not a place that I want to send my children, whether I need to teach them Quran or not. Do it online now. There's so many ways to do it. You don't need to go and have your underage daughter or son sits in a Maulvi who is probably married to 3 or 4 women already, and he knows the Quran back to front, and he knows what he's doing. I've heard stories in Saudi Arabia. It happened all the time. And it's gonna leave a whole wave of this next generation of kids absolutely traumatized. It's not something you get over. It takes a lifetime of work to kind of heal from. Maybe you'll never heal from it, but you learn to cope and manage. And the biggest thing is that the world, when you go to therapy and in a world that protects you, will tell you that you were not to blame. This is something that had happened to you. It's got nothing. There's no reflection on you. You're free and you just need to heal. But these kids, on top of going through the trauma, then they've got the victim blaming to deal with. Then they've got the balance of honor stuck on their head. And that, like you said, your own family could turn against you because they're like, oh, what do we look like in the wider picture? And what kind of news articles are surrounding our family? It's all bullshit, honestly. Yeah, sorry. That's all I really have to say on it. It's very, very just disturbing.
To help me produce more videos like these, support me on Patreon or PayPal.